What's good with you folks? This is Ray Davis coming to you with the truth. This is I Need a Mic podcast where I will be discussing mental health struggles I battle with just like you. Let's talk about it. It's a tagline I use. It's to say enough is enough. Give me my damn mic. I'm tired of the trauma I'm going through. Hey folks, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yes, I'm back at it again. Before I get started with another good today podcast interview, let me put a content warning. Content warning. If there's anything I had or have said in previous episode that had offended you or anyone you have shared any episode with, I'd like to apologize. I'd like to also remind you I'm not condoning what I said, but on my podcast, I'm real, I'm authentic, and I'm a warrior. I'm no longer censored, I'm no longer limited, I'm no longer silent. Mental health will censor you. Mental illness will limit you. And mental emotions will silence you. Oh, hi y'all. How everybody is doing? I hope everybody is out there doing good, being safe. It's getting hot. It is getting hot, folks. Oh my gosh, it is. It is getting hot. Right, that part. No, definitely not. For real. Yes, that part. Yes, that part. So if you are of course, hearing another voice on this podcast, I have a podcast interview today. Today's title is I'm a mess, but here's my art. So, and guess, can you please introduce yourself? You don't have to say where you live or anything. You can only say the coast. But
Okay, well,
yes.
I'm on the West Coast, and TJ Walkup's my name. I'm a award-winning filmmaker, award-winning cartoonist. I've been in a multitude of books since 1990 and different inceptions of people's, cartoons, artwork,
Yes.
underground stuff. I do a lot of underground cartoons, a bunch of activist work. I work for a couple civil rights and human rights publications, also advocating for people in poverty. I come from a household where a single parent. My father was, I think, of questionable, vacillating low morals. My mother had high integrity morals, loving, kind. I was raised with a very nurturing mom. She replaced my father easily by, when I was growing up, even simple things, funny things. Like,
Yes.
One of her boyfriends noticed, this kid pees like a girl, he's sitting down, he's tucking. And then she said, well, I'll fix that. So she came and zipped down her pants and put an Oscar Mayer wiener out the side. Point it down there, and then you can take a little tissue and shake whatever on the end.
Right.
It's really funny, but it's what single parents do, right?
Yes, it really is.
And when I was one, and she was dragging me around San Francisco with a diaper bag, basically, and clothing in her clothing and whatever, and we're couch surfing.
Yes.
Which basically is homeless, but
yes,
I say that yet. My family's, there's so many, like hundreds of family members. So
yes,
we ended up staying with my grandmother and my aunt, right? And that was like, so we weren't really homeless in that sense. We're not on a lease. The definition of chronically homeless is 2 years or more, where your name's on a lease and you're not, able
oh yes,
to live somewhere. So we didn't live that. We lived pretty nurturing time there. My aunt, like for instance, they collected rent from my mother, and after she had saved for about a year working as a florist, she dragged me around to UC Berkeley and SF State. So I tell people I attended both UC Berkeley and SF State.
Yes.
But I didn't have a degree. I was just potty trained in the process because she was dragging me around. At the time, Berkeley would let you come with your kids like that, right?
Right.
And she her degree was in ornamental horticulture. What a hippie!
Oh my gosh!
Total flower kid, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And she worked for Bill Graham Presents the first year of my life. So as people know, Wolfgang.
Yes.
Actually paid for all my food and lodging and everything else, and it was a lot of under the table work she did.
Yes.
Like she did flyers from the time she was a teenager.
Yes.
And she just got out of being a teenager after she had me.
Yes.
So I had a really nurturing, kind, lots of grandmas.
Yes.
Probably more grandmas than most people ever had. They spoke French and they spoke Spanish around me and some English. And I was fluent in Spanish as a kid until I went to Napa. I developed as an artist pretty early.
Yes.
Doing
a lot of a lot of things for the community. So so folks, so the purpose of this interview is to not only celebrate the artist, but is to celebrate who is the artist. This month, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And so yes, right, and so basically the theme for this interview is really about looking into the lens of a man who struggles with mental health, and of course, as you was hearing TJ's intro, it is a lot
Like
that
struggle
goes
or
into
embrace.
yes,
Because I'm
yes,
at the point
yes,
where I'm at
yes, the
54,
struggle,
I don't struggle
yes,
anymore. Like, okay, if I'm a little bummed out, what do I do? Let's go paint.
right,
So,
right,
so
right,
but
right,
I did go to therapy. I've got a great therapist right now. I tell you.
yes,
I was when I was young the things I had for depression really came from circumstantial things in my
yes,
life, and some of the things
yes,
that turned over. Other things I just have a great sense of resilience.
yes,
I had spoken to a woman with a criminal. She had a master's degree in criminal psychology, and she was the head of a methadone clinic.
yes,
And she said, "Your father's pure evil."
right,
But it was in the context
right,
of a conversation. I think I have a sister. I think I might go look for her, but I
right,
don't know what to tell her about the family. And she goes, "Don't say anything about him.
right,
That might actually
right.
wound her,
Right,
like it
right,
wounded
and
me
it's
as a young man."
right,
Right?
right, and it's totally understand.
Yeah.
And so, folks, in case you're wondering how me and TJ met, me and TJ met through a mutual nonprofit, and then after that nonprofit had moved out of Vallejo, me and TJ had reconnected.
Wait, which one was that? Oh,
The cottage cottage core kitchen.
oh, that's right. That's right. That's how I
Yes,
met you. I forgot about
yes,
that.
yes,
I thought
yes.
okay, I kind of think of it as through Mario and through the Solana AIDS Coalition too,
Right,
because he was doing stuff over there.
right,
So
right.
it's all in my head jumbled up on that.
No, no, right,
But
right.
that's a 54-year-old man who's been in fights for so long.
Oh my gosh,
You know,
right?
I mean,
Oh my
I got my
gosh.
bell rung a couple times, but
Yeah.
it hasn't
Still,
caused.
it's yeah.
I'm thankful for the brain damage.
Come on now. Come on now.
Why?
Come on now.
I think I was also I'm thankful for losing testosterone at a rate of 3% every year since age 30.
Whew.
I think I was too active and too
Yes.
cerebrally on
Understand.
like the heavy nitro fuel or whatever. It
Yes.
was like really moving, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then once a couple things in my life that caused a bit of trauma,
Yeah.
and I recovered from those things,
Yeah.
including hospitalization
Right.
for
Right.
my diabetes, and I'd gotten bit by something, and
Yes.
I had fecal
Yes.
matter floating in water
Oh
that got in my
yes.
body,
Oh
and
yes.
I ended up in a hospital with a tube in my back.
Right.
And
Right.
that's kind of disease and that sort of stuff is really
It is.
it's your body and your nervous system telling you to back off on
To listen, to really
yeah
to listen, and that
yeah
is
yeah
important for men, is
and
to
women
it and women, but of course with just the topic of this interview,
yeah
it's like it's important for more men to really get more help health wise,
yes
physically, mentally, and
yes
emotionally, but
yes
more physically. I had lost an uncle who had an infection on
yeah
his leg, and it went to his kidneys.
sepsis yeah
Yeah, so it really it killed him basically.
yeah
And so it's like and so it's like when men really are struggling,
yeah
and it's like, hey,
they
you
don't
are
talk
struggling, yet they don't
men
talk.
don't talk they
No,
hold it
they
in they
don't
become
talk.
brutes they
And
become
so
real a-holes I'm
right,
sorry
right, right. And so with all of that, it's like, okay, look, we all need to not only check up on each other,
yeah
but we all need to check up
when,
ourselves individually.
when men don't get mental health care it expresses itself in
Oh my
drinking drug
gosh.
use like sexual
Whew.
lascivious behavior. It comes out in wounding women and children. They
Yes.
will put their hands on women and children. I've
And
never done that,
and plus they
you know,
self, and plus it will also
or
help
themselves.
themselves. Yeah.
And when men are more likely to commit suicide, girls they reach
Yes.
out for more help because they're already
Yes.
ready to. They're already programmed that they can talk a little bit
Yes.
once in a while.
Right.
Not
Right.
necessarily the family may not be the best people because maybe the people who wounded you, right?
Right. That
I
part.
don't go to my father and go,
No.
I'm feeling bummed out, dude. Oh, try some heroin.
No.
That would
Right.
be good.
No.
No,
Right. Right. No. Totally understand it. So I said so let's go ahead and
yeah,
get started with these
yeah.
questions.
Go ahead.
So question number one: how did you get involved in the community?
How did I get involved in the community? It started at age 4.
Uh huh.
Because anywhere I go, I tie in like that. My family's Catholic. My great grandmother was arrested for serving people in poverty on the streets in on Market Street. She was like 98 pounds soaking wet, little teeny woman. She
Yes.
wore a
Yes.
Franciscan outfit because she belonged to the order, and
Yes.
she was a Catholic layperson. I guess is what she did, but she did what Jesus said to do, and she followed the examples in her Catholicism, and she went and served people. So my mother had me doing, Meals on Wheels, and then I was 5 on my own. I'd go up to the door, and the old person would open the
Yeah.
door, and I'd feed him. So my mother taught me about the connection to community, And like Dr. Gabramonte talks about, when people are disconnected from themselves is when they suffer all these mental problems and health issues and everything else, right? And it's not a mind body thing; it's a whole system. It's a nervous system. So when you're young, if your nervous system is dealing with a lot of trauma and a lot of I guess visceral, toxic environments and whatnot, your body responds to it later, expresses itself, and he's got all the medical stuff to talk about. I'm not a doctor, so but he says, that expresses his diabetes, expresses asthma, expresses his cancer, expresses his all these other things. And he says, if we go through these certain studies, we've known about this stuff for a long time. Instead, a lot of doctors want to just do the Dr. Feelgood method, where they take you right to a pill. And so even with mental health, unless it's an absolutely necessary thing, my personal view is children and adults should not do drugs first.
No.
And then people go and self-medicate. And in this environment, in our society,
and it's crazy when a lot of people when they do go into self-medicate, they don't know how to really either keep it at a level, or of course, as we know, people go overboard with it. And that's like one of the things that I know I struggle with when I had self medicate. At one point in my life, I'm like, yo, I'm over here smoking some cannabis twice. I mean, more than twice a month. And it's like, whoa, no. I'm doing too much financially, because financially I should be getting myself situated, or I should be at least trying to stabilize myself.
Well, when I was young, I realized I had low blood pressure. I was a low level depression. It was not expressing itself in a way that typically you think of as depression, right? It's that feeling, I don't want to get out of bed. That whole thing is, I was a kid. I had low self-esteem as a young boy growing up. Like the first kid who mugged me at the school, my junior high school, he had a mustache. His name was Victor. And I was already in martial arts, so I had the certificate learning how to teach. I was so trained killer, so to speak.
Of course.
I don't look like it. I basically look like Santa Claus now. But,
I'm telling you,
the kids used to pick on me in elementary school. And chase me to see me have an asthma attack. So every day was trauma for me.
It was. No, I totally relate to being bullied in school. I was both bullied and the bully.
So I hospitalized a ton of kids when I was young, and my mom said, "Okay, we're done. You know enough." And there was always cops at the school. I was tiny, so they thought they could pick on me. And I was afraid. My therapist asked me last week. She goes, "When you went through all these things with these drug addicts or people with addiction disorder, okay, and they're changing the names on it. I think to soften the blow a little bit, to take some of the judgment out for people. But but when I was going through all this stuff with my family, or stuff with these kids at school, and we're trying to grow up and not knowing, what ends up on some things, right? Single parent thing. Well, I'm working at night, so I was one of those latchkey kids you'd read about in the 80s, right? I could do it all. Laundry, cook my own food.
Come on now.
Shopped when I was 8 years old. I had shopping carts taller than me. I was teeny. I hadn't seen a pubic hair yet. This kid Victor had a mustache. He mugged me for my lunch money and said, "Don't do it. Don't touch me." And then I kind of came to over his body, and he was having a grand mal seizure, which I'd never seen. Peeing himself, frothing at the mouth, wiggling around, and all the kids.
It's so crazy.
The kid's like, he's possessed by the devil. They're freaking out. And so the next week, the whole school had to watch a film on epilepsy.
Oh my god!
And I was on house arrest while the police did an investigation, but there was like 60 witnesses that didn't do anything. That's kind of the story of my life, and it happens over and over again. Even into my adult life, where a guy came out, two-fisted drinker, and I was drinking coffee at the company, wasn't Benicia. And this guy comes out of a bar. I call him a two-fisted drinker because he had one for his beer, and the other fist was for his wife. And he was handing her across the street into the wall, with his fist.
Oh,
I started yelling at him to distract him. Hey, and I'm having a cup of coffee over there, and there's about 20 people. And I tell her, go. I motion her, get out of there. And he comes at me, and I go,
Don't totally understand it.
Because he's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna kick your ass." Like, he goes, "Come here, I'm gonna beat you." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not working for it. I'm having a latte over here." And then the police came, like the entire police department came. And the officer looks at me and goes, "Hey," he says, "Did you see what happened?" I go, "Oh yeah." And then he goes, "Oh yeah." "Were you close to the action?" I go, "Yeah, you could say that." And then he goes, "Were you a part of it?" I go, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Tell me your side." So I start to tell him my side, and it's unbelievable to him how it went down, right? He says, "The guy said that you hit him with something metal." I go, "No, I didn't hit him with anything metal."
Right.
In fact, I had a latte, and I said, I'm not working for it. Come over here. The guy comes over.
Yes.
I'm just trying to relax. And then I put my leg out and open-handedly slapped him with his inertia as it being connected to my chin. So he barely touched me because I moved with him, right?
Yes.
I used all his energy, and he flew over my leg, and then he hit a newspaper box, bounced off of it.
Yes.
And then bounced into a car in the gutter, and the inertia was so strong, the newspaper box fell on top of him.
Right.
So he had a metal gash across his entire face, and the police believed him that I hit him with something metal. I said, absolutely not. I slapped him. This is how it went down. And then I said, there's 20 witnesses here.
Yes.
And they were like sitting there, yeah, we saw the whole thing. That's
right. Right.
But I was afraid when these five guys, I'm not great at math.
Yes.
These five guys come out of the bar, and they're looking at me. They go, no, hey. And I go, oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm in my head. I didn't say anything aloud.
Yes.
And I go into what's called a cat stance, right? Which is you're protecting your body and your face with your fists up and your one leg behind the other, so you've got stabilization. And you can kick if you need to, right?
Yes.
And then the guy comes over. These guys are like, oh, he's just drunk. We'll leave him alone.
Our time is clicking.
Oh, shoot.
Yes, our time is
straight
clicking.
to the middle of
Yes.
Okay, here's the question. Let's go to
it. Yes. So what are some things you mentally struggle with when you work on your art?
When I work on my art, I work on pressures of life, bills, wife, kid, just normal stuff, right? And also like the sadness of time and people I've lost.
Yes.
So like the painting I just called, The Roses Are Coping.
Yes.
That actually has art. It has paint from famous and well-known artists locally.
Yes.
Nationally, the most famous one is Clevin Goody Godot. He's the first Black American to do a full line of contemporary Black greeting cards.
Gosh. Yes.
And he was a best friend of mine, a mentor of mine. He didn't know how much he meant to me. Right. He must have known. I was on his deathbed. I was one of the only. I was sleeping next to him on a little couch, basically.
Right.
And he was. It was there for his last breath. And so to be brought in with the family that close was a great experience for a documentarian, but also there's a beautiful friendship. And I knew Maury Turner.
Yes. Yes.
And Maury Turner and I were good. I was raised by really great old cartoonists.
Right.
I had his paint. That Jeanette McCrigodo, who incidentally was the first Black woman to sell national line of greeting cards across the United States, because women didn't do those jobs very often.
Yes,
history. And these people are beautiful. You see, they both. I mean, he modeled, but she was gorgeous too. And the babies they had.
Yes.
Holy cow! When I met his daughters, I thought, oh.
Well, no, beautiful. No, very beautiful, right? Very beautiful.
Gorgeous family.
Yes.
So his paint is in that painting, and I miss him.
Yes.
And so I did some crying over that too, and then. Harold Bilodeau, he was a artist who has a mural on the Oddfellows. He didn't sign it. It was actually commercial in nature, so it's not protected by the VERA laws.
Yes.
But he would do a thing called the art department where he'd help kids print their stuff, and he did it kind of quietly around town. Another Black gentleman, he went to Belize and passed away.
Yes.
Kind of privately at the time, I knew one of the first dreadlock Rasta guys, which I didn't know that they were basically criminals in Jamaica, right? And so Trevor Burrows helped to raise me. I think he went to school at Harvard, man. And he was a conservator, so he could go to a museum and fix a Rembrandt. He's that kind of guy.
Got you.
He could go back and fix it. So
next question. Totally. Yes. Next question. Yes. Next question.
Coping right there.
Yes. So next question: how do you use your outlet to overcome mental health struggles?
Like I said, when I'm bummed out, first of all, doodling is a big thing for me.
Whew.
And I doodle and your mind just goes places. So I'm kind of working things out like that.
Yes.
You can use bilateral music while you're drawing.
Yes.
And, that phases between your ears, which grows your brain.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Typical therapy. All the therapists are starting to use it.
Right. So so that's definitely understanding.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing. Art is it's a form of expression. When you're able to express yourself
in various ways.
Natural therapy anyway.
It is, and that's why I really stick to poetry, because I feel like at one point growing up, it's like I said that I stuttered, and so like growing up, it was like, okay, use my words.
Yeah.
Talk, speak. So when I recite my poetry, I feel like that is the time that I can express myself. I can really, I can really say how it is I'm feeling, and people really do listen. And people, and people really do listen. So
you're authentic. They can feel you.
Yes, of course. So question number 4: what are a couple of things you want to see within the community of artists?
I want people to try. It's
come on now.
There's one guy in town.
Come on now.
This guy is he's kind of a yuckster in a way, but I said, okay, I got a challenge for you. Now he looked like freaked out when I said that, like,
Yes.
because I appear to be real macho, but I'm not. I'm
Yes,
actually like a real
no.
sensitive cat, right?
Oh my gosh,
You would
no.
attest to that, I hope.
TJ is a teddy bear like me, y'all.
Yeah,
I
okay.
tell you, TJ is a teddy bear like me, and when I mean that, it's like, at first when people turn around and see us down the street, they are highly intimidated by us. We don't give a fuck why you is, but people are highly intimidated by us until they hear us speak, or until they know who we are, what it is that we do, how it is
Yeah.
that we are connected.
Yeah.
And when people listen to our story before they know our glory,
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit,
Yeah, you see,
you are not the
yeah.
person who who I thought you were.
Yeah, no, tough guy. He paints roses
Oh my gosh, come
and
on now.
cries while he's doing it. Okay,
Come on
woo-hoo.
now.
And
Tough.
so I'm like,
Come on now.
I'm cool with that. Like, there's been people in town who've been known and violent,
Yes.
and I've talked to them, but I didn't speak to them disrespectfully. I basically said, you need to get a lot of help. It'll probably take 20 years for you to go
Come
back
on
to
now.
to connect to your own heart or whatever. Or I'd say things like get some therapy, blah blah blah. I wouldn't hand you the
Yes.
keys to my car, blah blah. I get
Yes.
letters from people of color actually across the
Of
country
course.
that I was the only man who spoke up. So
Right.
situations like that. And then
Right.
people try to get me in their shit like it's their own. I don't know if Carl Jung is right about this or not, but
Right.
it's their own thing. They're attracted and repelled at the same time
Come on now.
because I'm just being authentic. And
Yeah.
I
mean,
can learn too. I
there
can make a
is
mistake and learn
right,
too.
right. It is very good. It's very funny how, like, when you had, reached out to me, it was like, Ray, huh? I see you. Not only I see you,
Yeah.
but I see your platform, and so
It's good.
right, and which was really good, and which was
It's necessary.
and which was really, it was beyond necessary. Matter of fact, so at one point I wasn't too forthcoming on doing a podcast booth. And so when it comes down to this year, I was like, "Hey, look, I'm building. I am saving up.
Yeah.
I'm doing this and I'm doing that."
I said, get off the shelf.
Right, right. And,
Yeah.
and TJ literally said, "Ray, get off the shelf. Ray,
Yeah.
come on."
So
And
here's
so,
so I don't give myself credit for that. I'll tell you why. Because
yes.
you were ready at the time.
Oh my
And I could
gosh.
feel that, right? So
Yes.
I see your spirit. I saw you work with the kids during the
Yes.
poetry out loud
Yes.
thing, right?
Yes.
And Carmen and I went and attended that. I was in Painter
Yes.
so I was working at another gallery at the time,
Yes.
but we see that, and I love that in people when they're really authentic.
Yes.
And what was necessary, and what I mean by that, when I agreed with you just now,
Yeah.
I hope there's no misunderstanding. What I'm saying is your podcast is necessary.
Yes. Yes.
Not me getting you off the shelf.
No.
Your
No.
podcast is what's
Yes.
necessary. Right?
And which was something that,
Connecting that.
right, which was something that after I had finished the conversation with TJ about it, I was like, you know what? He knows I got the energy.
Yeah.
He
totally.
knows I got the spirit.
I felt your aura or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
speaking in a
yes,
spiritual sense, just
yes,
saying
but yes,
your energy,
but
who you are.
yes,
Yeah.
but of course, included with that, it was like, you know what? I am ready for.
Yeah.
I am ready. Period. And
But
it
it's
was,
also needed.
yeah, and it was needed. And I was like, you know what? He is right.
Yeah.
So when I finally decided to do I Need a Mic podcast booth, and whenever I do have content for it, I always say, hey y'all, look. I was literally motivated to come outside when at one point I wanted to be inside just for the remaining year.
The only thing I did, I think, in the process of helping you do this was remind you that
Yes.
you're on the shelf as one.
I'm human.
And then if you did this, then you'd have a whole bunch of them together so you can get rid of it too.
Yes.
Because people see the consistency, they see that you can do this.
Yeah.
They listen to it. I mean, I
it's
listened to a couple of your
all of
podcasts
that.
that kind of teared up a bunch. So it's
Yes.
very meaningful.
Oh yes.
You go naked, man.
Oh my gosh. I literally, and that's one thing that I really applaud myself on doing, because it's like, look, I don't have no script. The only script I have is basically whatever I would write down on whatever the episode is. And so to go ahead, yes. So with everything that I have been doing, I do want to say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Because
Thank you for doing it.
yes, of course, because everything is like I said, you literally, you didn't kick me, but but it's like in a way to be motivated. You literally kicked me in a way that's like, okay, I
Let's
felt
rephrase
that.
that. How about I
Yes.
gently asked for your handshake
Yes.
and asked
And
said, come
more.
along. Because I
And
know what it's like to
more.
be on an art journey.
Oh my gosh.
That's really important.
And it still is important. So last question. Hype yourself, please. Let the people know about your business page and where to find it.
You can find me. I'm on OMNIFICPictures.com, and I don't really refresh as much as I should, but I've sold to every major affiliate as a stringer, which is a means of basically a reporter. I've made many documentaries. I contributed to 96 documentaries at one point.
Yes, he has, folks.
In a 2.5 year period.
Oh my gosh.
But every channel and everything else. Good. Until 2.
Have a load of gas coming in.
It's 10:52.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 10:52.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say it. Bye bye.
So
yes. That lady actually stalked me once.
She's
again dealing with some stuff. I'm not going to say her name.
No. Of course not. Of course not. But hey,
schizophrenia and all kinds of.
Yeah. Well, at the end, all we can do is spiritually pray for someone who is still struggling.
I'm an atheist. A lot of stuff.
No, you don't.
Shoot.
You don't.
Okay.
You don't. But of course, right.
Like, I'm painting with one hand behind my back. Oh wait, I can still use my feet too.
Right.
I'm good. I'm telling
right.
you. I can use all 4 limbs.
Right. Which is
speaking about the hype, in Hollywood, I did I did the drops for the San Gabriel Civic Auditorium. I had 2 helpers, and at one point I was so tired I woke up on a painting and said, "Thank you for helping." They brought me dinner. They go, "We haven't helped you for the past 3 paintings." Like if I forgot about it because I was so stressed out. Yes. But I worked from. I had a roll of stuff out in an apartment. I was going up on a ladder. Yes. I go back down. I was recreating for Follies, 17th century paintings. I was redoing them pretty well, and I used all limbs. I had 2 paintbrushes in my hands, and I had one. I had toes that were on the ground dabbling with that too. So I was using. I would have to stand with 1 foot and then do the other one. I was skinny at the time. Right. So it's like my ballet career is over.
Right. Here, Yes.
Egg is a shape, so I'm still in shape.
Yes.
But
yes. I mean,
but so the hype. I've won awards for filmmaking. Like one of the same ones as a Spielberg.
Yes.
I am a fearless advocate for the arts and the arts because they are in essence about connecting to yourself and to others in community. And I really feel strongly about that. I don't think that non-artists should ever panel on artists. Yeah. And guess what? The funders of the arts feel the same exact way. Exactly. But we have. I'm always willing to lend a hand when I can, and I also speak to politicians the same way I speak to you. Yes. Or anybody else. Yes, and that is beautiful, and that is wonderful, and that's why I appreciate you so much. So yes. So yes. So. Yes, folks. So, of course, as everybody know, at the end of every episode, I always do a closeout quote related to the episode. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know who said this quote, but whoever did, thank you. To see the sunshine, you need to cross the night. The road to happiness can sometimes be full of unexpected struggles. Don't let it deter you. It is a test of your progress. Prepare better and try again if you fail, but never quit. Time will change. So thank you so much. So folks, so now you have heard me speak some truth. This is my way of passing the mic to you. I hope my courage, will, and drive. Our courage, will, and drive. Yes, our courage, will, and drive motivate you. So, folks, thank you so much. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay cool. And if you have any kids, I cannot stress this any further enough. Please kiss them babies every day. Love them.